In the late 90s, Jonathan Taylor Thomas was a beloved star thanks to his role in the hit comedy series Home Improvement. However, when his career was at its peak, he suddenly withdrew from the spotlight, leaving many questions and concerns. What made Jonathan give up fame and choose a private life? Don't miss it if you want to understand more about this star's emotional journey. Let's start with Jonathan Taylor Thomas' childhood days and his journey to fame, a journey filled with sadness and hardship. More than a few decades ago, the stereotype of a single-parent family was a major challenge for parents and children, especially in places like the United States, where the typical family norm was quite clear. But over time, the concept of family has gradually expanded, becoming more diverse and more accepting. For Jonathan Taylor Thomas, growing up in a family with separated parents became an integral part of his childhood and had a profound impact on his later artistic path. Born Jonathan Weiss on September 8, 1981, in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, Jonathan was the second child of Claudine Gonçalves, a Portuguese teacher, and Stephen Weiss, who worked in industrial sales. Life in Bethlehem was relatively peaceful until the family moved to Sacramento, California, when Jonathan was 4 years old. The move was not only a change of geography, but also a major change in Jonathan's life as he was first exposed to the entertainment industry. From a very young age, Jonathan's parents recognized his special abilities. From his photogenic appearance to his ability to express emotions, they encouraged him to participate in performing activities. From modeling to appearing in commercials, it was these small roles that laid the foundation for his acting career. Successful commercials gave Jonathan confidence and helped him start attracting attention from larger entertainment companies. In 1991, Jonathan's most important opportunity came when he was cast as Randy Taylor in the hit sitcom Home Improvement. This role not only brought his name to the United States, but also helped Jonathan become a familiar face on American television throughout the 90s. Home Improvement was a family show that millions of people watched every week. And with the humorous and smart personality of the character, Randy, Jonathan quickly won the hearts of the audience. However, right during this time of great success, Jonathan had to face his parents' divorce, a great shock that greatly affected the psychology of the teenage boy. The family breakup, combined with the pressure of being famous at only 10 years old, forced Jonathan to learn to mature earlier than his peers. The role of Randy Taylor brought Jonathan Taylor Thomas widespread fame and quickly made him a prominent child star on American television. Home Improvement was one of the most popular sitcoms of the 90s, attracting millions of viewers every week. Jonathan's character, Randy, smart, funny, and sometimes a bit rebellious, created great sympathy, especially with young audiences. Jonathan became a familiar image not only on television, but also through public events and interview shows, where he always appeared with a lovely, humorous appearance and attracted the attention of both fans and the media. However, behind the halo is a busy schedule and many challenges. Jonathan not only had to spend time studying scripts and practicing acting, but also had to pursue the curriculum of a normal student. This left him with almost no time for the simple childhood experiences that many of his peers enjoyed. Sometimes, Jonathan felt like he had to grow up too quickly, shouldering the great responsibility of a young star while still being a child at heart. His success also came with constant attention from the public and the press, who constantly followed his and his family's every move. Many times, the media reported on Jonathan's personal life and family, and at a young age, he had to learn how to handle pressure from public opinion. However, Jonathan always showed professionalism and a determined attitude, maintaining his image despite facing many difficulties. When Jonathan's career reached its peak in Home Improvement, his family life began to fall apart. His parents, Claudine Gonçalves and Stephen Weiss, decided to divorce, a major turning point for Jonathan at this time. This separation caused a lot of turmoil in his personal life, forcing him to balance the pressure of his career with the pain of a broken family. After his parents separated, Jonathan moved to Los Angeles with his mother and younger brother. The bustling life in Los Angeles was very different from the peaceful Sacramento, and Jonathan had to adapt to the new environment while still facing the spotlight and professional responsibilities. Despite the challenges, this period also helped Jonathan mature and define his values. He always spent time studying and reading, something that many other child stars often neglected due to their busy schedules. Jonathan was very aware of the importance of education, and it was thanks to his seriousness in studying that he was able to balance his life between his career and personal life, avoiding many of the pitfalls of the entertainment industry. From a child actor, Jonathan gradually became a cultural icon in the hearts of fans throughout the 90s. Home Improvement portrayed the Taylor family as an ideal American family, with affection and connection between members. The relationships between the actors in the show are also very close, and to Jonathan, the cast of Home Improvement are not only colleagues, but also a second family. By the mid-1990s, as Jonathan Taylor Thomas's career was taking off, the allure of Hollywood and fame was starting to lose its meaning for him. In a candid interview with Premiere magazine in 1996, Jonathan shared some surprisingly mature views for a teenage star. Speaking to journalist Christopher Connolly, he confessed that he was not thrilled with the acting industry and the lifestyle it demanded. "You can't live in the bubble of this industry," Jonathan said. "It's full of weirdness and dysfunction. So when I go home and play basketball with my friends, I'm not Jonathan Taylor Thomas, I'm just Jonathan." Jonathan also said he didn't enjoy socializing with other actors. Unlike the A-list lifestyle typical of many young stars at the time, he deliberately kept his distance from the spotlight. His attitude is even more striking when compared to his co-star Brad Renfro, who starred alongside Jonathan in Tom and Huck. While Jonathan kept his personal life private and avoided the trappings of fame, Renfro was known for his rebellious lifestyle and often got into trouble for his outrageous behavior. The contrast between them highlights the different approaches young stars often take when faced with the pressures of the profession. As a child actor, Jonathan had to adhere to strict regulations on working hours and going to school to protect his health and interests, but it was his sobriety and cautious attitude that helped Jonathan maintain a balance between fame and everyday life, avoiding the temptations and fluctuations that many young stars have encountered. Protections for child actors, such as work hour limits, on-set training requirements, and work time regulations are necessary, but they are not enough to completely protect them from the stress and pressures of the entertainment industry. For Jonathan Taylor Thomas, his first years on the set of Home Improvement were not only a success, but also a huge challenge. As one of the main stars of the hit comedy, Jonathan had to adhere to a strict schedule, working about 9.5 hours a day on set. Despite the protections, the workload and demands of the role still left him little time to enjoy a carefree childhood. In an interview with People magazine, Jonathan shared that in addition to work, he had to complete schoolwork, maintain friendships, and memorize scripts. His life was a series of juggling acts to balance school, friends, and his responsibilities as an actor. The pressure of his demanding schedule was made even more difficult by the health issues he suffered throughout his career. Jonathan often worked through severe migraines, a condition that not only caused severe headaches, but also nausea, visual disturbances, and sensitivity to light and sound. In a filming environment with constant, bright lighting, these symptoms could be particularly uncomfortable and draining. Jonathan's perseverance throughout the filming of Home Improvement was a testament to his dedication to his craft, despite the typical stress of adolescence and the pressures of a harsh work environment. He managed to perform his role professionally while maintaining a balance in his personal life. Despite suffering from severe migraines, Jonathan Taylor Thomas remained steadfast and dedicated to his role as Randy Taylor on Home Improvement. Jonathan's dedication not only made Home Improvement one of the most popular sitcoms of its time, but also helped him build a large fan base who loved and followed his development through each episode. However, Jonathan's sudden decision to leave the show in 1998 surprised and disappointed many. Home Improvement was coming to an end, and the role of Randy Taylor had been an integral part of the Taylor family on screen. Many were left wondering what made Jonathan, who had been with the show for 7 seasons, choose to leave before the show ended. This decision confused audiences and colleagues, as the show had become an integral part of American television culture. Viewers expected the main characters to appear together in the final episode to create a complete ending. However, Thomas's departure before that time caused fans to lose the opportunity to witness the end of the character, Randy Taylor, in the storyline. This was seen as a missed opportunity to honor the show's enduring appeal, causing frustration not only among viewers but also among the cast and crew. Patricia Richardson, who played Randy's mother, publicly expressed her displeasure with Thomas's choice. In an interview with TV Guide, she candidly shared that it was a pretty painful point, implying that Thomas' departure left her feeling upset and regretful. Tim Allen, who played Randy's father, was also confused by Thomas' decision. Allen admitted that, while he respected Thomas' intention to focus on his studies, he did not fully understand the underlying reasons behind the decision, and that it caused some tension between them. "I've been very public about saying I was confused. I don't think he liked it," Allen said, suggesting that Thomas' departure affected their relationship and the tone of the show. When he left Home Improvement, Jonathan Taylor Thomas was at a turning point in his life. His decision, while controversial and confusing to others, reflected his desire to live a less stressful life, away from the spotlight, so he could pursue his education and personal goals that he considered more important at the time. Thomas, who was just 18 years old at the time, was on the verge of making the transition from high school to college, which is a phase that is synonymous with substantial personal and scholastic transformations that many adolescents go through. This transition, on the other hand, presented Thomas with a one-of-a-kind set of obstacles and possibilities, which were distinct from the traditional high school experience. Because he has a high-profile profession in Hollywood, Thomas decided to pursue a different course of action, in contrast to the majority of young performers who would have decided to profit from their success and continue working in the entertainment industry. His ambition to seek further education and enjoy a more typical adolescent life was the driving force for his choice to leave Home Improvement. In interviews that took place around the time that he left the program, he was candid about the potential negative effects that continuing to appear on the show may have had on his health. During a part that took place during the Kids' Choice Awards, Thomas discussed his choice openly and honestly. Even though he acknowledged the difficulties associated with quitting the show, he nonetheless stressed the good improvements that it brought about in his life. To say that there has been a shift in the routine would be an understatement. "I have embraced the change. I have the opportunity to attend school and spend time with my pals. If I had stayed at the show and attempted to accomplish academically what I am doing now, I would have put myself in an early grave," Thomas said. "Looking back, I see that I made such a wonderful decision because I would have put myself in an early grave." From his statement, it was clear that he was experiencing a tremendous feeling of relief and contentment with his decision. The decision that Thomas made to put his schooling and personal life ahead of his acting career was not only a career move, it was also an important step in the process of sustaining his mental and physical health throughout his life. His straightforward consideration of the potential adverse effects that may result from continuing to appear on the program, even if it was presented with a trace of embarrassment, highlighted the seriousness with which he approached the subject. Because of the extreme strain and the possibility of burnout that he experienced while working on the program, the statement that he made about placing himself in an early grave was a warning sign. He was not immune to the tremendous scrutiny that frequently comes along with celebrity, particularly when it comes to subjects as intimate as intimacy. Jonathan Taylor Thomas was not immune to this examination. When Thomas was at the height of his popularity as a teen idol on Home Improvement, he was subjected to unrelenting rumors and conjecture about his personal life. This is a predicament that many public figures, particularly high-profile celebrities like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, are all too acquainted with. During the 1990s, when Thomas was at the height of his fame, speculation about his intimate relationships was a prominent topic of debate among fans and the media. Tabloid culture was thriving during this period, and celebrity gossip was rife. Thomas found himself at the center of these invasive suspicions, despite being a young actor. It is important to acknowledge the fact that this type of scrutiny can be invasive and inappropriate, especially for someone so young and still developing both emotionally and professionally. During an appearance on The Tonight Show with Jay Leno in 1998, the subject of these rumors was brought to the attention of the audience. Known for his candid and often controversial approach, host Jay Leno raised suspicions regarding Thomas's intimate relationship with another person, with others discussing the issue through vague links and rumors. Leno questioned Thomas about whether the rumors that he was gay bothered him. Thomas, displaying his characteristically calm demeanor, brushed off the subject with a light-hearted attitude, admitting that such rumors were just part of the Hollywood scene. Leno, on the other hand, was not entirely pleased with Thomas's nonchalant remarks and directly asked him if he was gay. When Thomas was asked about it, he laughed and clearly said, "No, I'm not." While the conversation may have seemed like nothing more than casual gossip on a talk show, it was a significant occasion considering Thomas's age and the nature of the questions. At the time, he was still a teenager, trying to navigate the difficulties of celebrity and personal identity, while being constantly scrutinized by the public and the media. The attention paid to Thomas's intimate relationships was more than just a matter of idle chatter. It illustrates a more general and often invasive aspect of celebrity culture, which is characterized by the constant dissection and discussion of the private lives of famous people. It is possible that Thomas's decision to retreat from the spotlight was influenced by the impact of the invasive attention he received. Being under such constant scrutiny can be quite frightening, especially for a young person trying to establish his identity and deal with the demands that come with achieving fame. The way Thomas responded to these reports illustrates his ability to withstand the anxieties that come with fame with a certain level of grace. On the other hand, the persistent nature of the rumors circulating about his intimate relationships may have been a factor in his decision to withdraw from the public eye. His choice to quit home improvement and pursue a more private life was, in part, a reaction to the difficulties he encountered as a rising celebrity in a very public sector. He eventually decided to leave home improvement, even though Jonathan does not enjoy receiving any kind of attention from his admirers. He does feel a sense of obligation toward them, particularly throughout the decade of the 1990s. The ascent of a dynamic young star was one of the few things that could be seen as thrilling in the world of celebrity. Just one example of such a phenomenon was Jonathan Taylor Thomas. He became the object of strong public attraction as a teenage heartthrob on Home Improvement, earning adulation from fans who were anxious to get a peek at the adorable young actor. Additionally, he became the subject of significant public attention. Because of his renown, he was able to garner a loyal following that was willing to follow him to even the most isolated regions. This degree of fixation is a tribute to the great pull of celebrity, and it is comparable to the contemporary preoccupation with celebrities such as Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. When Jonathan Taylor Thomas was at the height of his career, he was not only a well-known figure, but he was also a teen idol whose popularity reached extraordinary heights. Many fans would go to extreme measures to catch a glimpse of Thomas, even going so far as to travel to the remote regions of Canada, where he was filming Wild America. This kind of dedication exemplifies the magnetic attraction that a celebrity has on its followers and the extent that fans will go to in order to feel connected to their heroes. Regarding fame, however, Thomas has a complicated connection with it. Thomas addressed his popularity with a more nuanced viewpoint, in contrast to the majority of young performers who may take pleasure in the affection and exposure that come with their reputation. As he realized the major role that his supporters had in his life, he expressed his gratitude for their support, while simultaneously attempting to cope with the difficulties that came along with it. During an interview with the New York Times, Thomas freely highlighted the problems that come with attempting to satisfy the expectations of fans, as well as the hurdles that are inherent in trying to keep everyone happy. He said that you are a part of their lives, and there is a lot that is owed to them. This demonstrates that he is aware of the duties that come along with being a public person. However, he was also aware of the inherent conflict that would arise from attempting to please all of his fans. However, it is challenging since you want to ensure that everyone is content. On the other hand, if you attempt to achieve that, you are putting yourself in a position to fail. It is clear from this statement that the young man in question possessed an extraordinarily high level of maturity for his age. The profound self-awareness that Thomas demonstrates is shown by his contemplation of the equilibrium that exists between personal comfort and public expectation. Thomas appeared to have difficulty dealing with the great attention and strain that he was under, in contrast to many other adolescents who could have loved the spotlight. The intelligent perspective that he displayed on the nature of notoriety and the difficulties that it provides was reflected by his mature response to fame and the expectations that it involves. By the year 2013, Jonathan Taylor Thomas had been away from the entertainment world for almost a decade, and many people had come to terms with the fact that his brief time of success was more of a fad than a long-term career. Following his departure from Home Improvement in 1999, Thomas embarked on a course of action that was glaringly different. He made a remarkable academic decision by enrolling at Harvard University, which signified a dramatic departure from his prior life in Hollywood. After completing his studies at Harvard, Thomas went on to broaden his intellectual horizons by attending St. Andrews University in Scotland for 2 years. This is the same distinguished college that Prince William attended. As a result of this period of academic endeavor, which appeared to signify a full departure from his acting profession, audiences were left wondering whether or not he had moved on permanently. Nevertheless, Thomas made a noteworthy comeback to the entertainment world in 2013, some 15 years after his last major playing job. This was a surprise turn of events that put him back in the spotlight. The moment he made his comeback was when he appeared as a guest on the comedy Last Man Standing, which was starring Tim Allen, who had previously worked with him on Home Improvement. This reunion was more than just a flashback to one's childhood memories. It was a return that had been meticulously planned out, and it brought attention to Thomas's uninterrupted link to the world of television. Tim Allen. With the goal of gaining a deeper understanding of the art of directing, Thomas had been observing John Pasquin, the director of the show. In order to get more knowledge, Allen complimented Thomas on his acting abilities and mentioned that during his time away from the spotlight, he had developed a passion for directing and working with performers. Thomas was lauded for his talent as an actor. When it comes to directing, Thomas is fascinated. After attending college, he discovered that he had other interests. Although he has always been a fantastic actress, Allen explained that he had graduated and returned to the industry, where he now enjoys directing and collaborating with performers. Through this realization, a picture was formed of Thomas as someone who had expanded his interests beyond acting and was looking to explore other facets of the entertainment business. The re-entry of Thomas into the acting world was not without its difficulties. Even though he had returned, Allen recalled his old buddy as being rather reserved and anxious when working on set. Allen mentioned that he was concerned about whether or not he still had it, and that he did not want to participate in the performance since he had other things in mind. When Thomas made this comment, it brought to light the internal conflict he was experiencing as he attempted to reconcile his previous prominence with his current achievements. Between the years 2013 and 2015, Jonathan Taylor Thomas had a remarkable but temporary return to the entertainment business by participating in 4 episodes of the sitcom Last Man Standing, which was created by Tim Allen. Fans who had been waiting for him to return to a more permanent role in Hollywood were given a new reason to hope for his comeback through these guest roles. It was thought by both spectators and reviewers that Thomas may be getting ready for a full-scale comeback, and each performance was welcomed with enthusiasm from both groups. His homecoming was a mixture of nostalgia and new beginnings, calling attention to his development from a cherished child star to a more experienced, multidimensional creative professional. His return was a mixture of nostalgia and something new. Thomas' appearance on Last Man Standing did not result in a lasting comeback, despite the euphoria that surrounded his return to the show. The course of Thomas's career took an unexpected turn when he made his final appearance on the popular television show. Fans and those who follow the entertainment business are perplexed by his decision to withdraw from the public eye because he did not seek any more playing parts or directing ventures. Given the declarations he had made in the past about his dreams for his professional life, this quiet was especially noticeable. In 2011, Thomas made it very obvious that he desired to work behind the camera, which reflected a fundamental departure from his previous acting career. It was in an interview with Entertainment Weekly when he made the statement, "I believe that at this point in time, I would eventually like to work behind the camera." His reply suggested that he had a developing interest in directing and producing, and it suggested that he envisioned a future in which he might have an effect on television and movies from a new point of view. It is also important to note that he acknowledged the possibility of future performing chances, stating That does not mean that I would never act again. To tell you the truth, I'm not quite certain that I will. I still have a strong interest in television and movies, and I want to one day find a job in the industry." This remark was a combination of cautious optimism and openness, and it hinted at the possibility of a return to the screen, while also investigating other aspects of the business. It felt as though Thomas' participation in Last Man Standing was in line with these goals' objectives. Through shadowing the show's director, John Peskin, he displayed a significant interest in the art of directing, which matched his earlier ambition to work behind the camera. He took this opportunity to learn more about the trade. Despite this encouraging turn of events, Thomas' career did not continue to go forward at the rate that many people had imagined it would. The suddenness with which he disappeared from public view following his appearance on the show caused many people to wonder what had happened since his initial reappearance in the public eye. Consider the extreme scrutiny and pressure that Thomas experienced as a result of his celebrity status. This might be one of the probable explanations for his departure. The early years of his career were characterized by an unrelenting public glare, which included invasive paparazzi as well as speculative tabloid tales. It is possible that his desire for seclusion and a vacation from the spotlight was influenced by the strong emphasis on his personal life as well as the continual demand for his time and attention. This is consistent with his past observations regarding the difficulties of combining the expectations of the public with the individual's own sense of fulfillment. What do you think about his decision to leave? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next videos.